huge cancellation in the UFC's featherweight division. Bryce Mitchell and Movsar Evloev are out of UFC Fight Night. Rodriguez versus Lemos on November 5th in about, 12 more days, maybe 13 more days. This fight is canceled. Movsar Evloev is out, and no replacement has been made for Bryce Mitchell. Nobody was willing to step up on short notice. So now we got a new main event. Amanda Lemos, Marina Rodriguez, probably the co-main event of Neil Magny and Daniel Rodriguez. A cancellation has occurred in the UFC. Now we got Rodriguez, Amanda Lemos. I personally got Marina Rodriguez winning. They are both pretty much the exact same age, apart from a few weeks. Marina is taller. She's not as lengthy. They are the same amount of length right there, but she hits harder and throws more volume than Amanda Lemos, in my opinion. There will be some moments from the both of them. No wrestling, no grappling. 5 rounds of striking, and I lean Marina Rodriguez to edge out a decision. But what do y'all think about the cancellation of Movsar Evloev and Bryce Mitchell, 2 undefeated featherweight prospects, one of which could have gone on to fight Volkanovski for the UFC featherweight belt? Sad, but that is the case in the featherweight division. Rafael Fiziev calls out Charles do Bronx Oliveira for UFC 283 in Brazil. We'll go on to the quote and the tweet that had been made on Twitter from Rafael Fiziev. He has already said that, guess what? Let's find it right here. Let's see if we can find it. It's gone. It is gosh dang gone. But y'all can take my word for it. That Rafael Fiziev called out the man, the myth, the legend, Charles do Bronx Oliveira for UFC 283 on the main card of that pay-per-view, headlined by, who knows, I really don't know who's going to headline that one, but with Brad Tavares, Gregory Rodriguez, Mauricio Hua, Paul Craig, Johnny Walker, and possibly to be added to this card as the co-main event, Charles do Bronx Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush, or maybe Charles do Bronx Oliveira versus Rafael Fiziev. But Rafael Fiziev has called out Charles Oliveira for this Brazil fight card. Who do you think wins and why in the lightweight division? Islam Makhachev, Alexander Volkanovski betting odds have been released, and they are interesting to say the least. Islam Makhachev, a 4-1 favorite on one bookie, a 3.5-1 favorite on another, and a 3-1 favorite on another bookie right there. I'm going to be dead honest with you. I agree with -300 for Islam Makhachev. I put out a prediction earlier today on Bert MMA channel on my prediction for Islam Volkanovski. I have Islam winning. Watch that video to find out why. But what do y'all think about -300 for Islam and +300 for Alexander Volkanovski? Charles do Bronx Oliveira coming off the loss to the man, the myth, the legend, the champion Islam Makhachev at UFC 280 in the main events. He's already come out right after that loss. He said he's already dealt with so much adversity in the UFC, had such an up and down career, has the highest highs and the lowest of lows. This is another learning experience from Charles do Bronx Oliveira, and he says he will come back and rematch Islam Makhachev in 2023 or in 2024 after winning a few more fights, and he will regain his throne as the UFC lightweight champion in the coming future. What do y'all think? Does Charles Oliveira regain the belts and become the next UFC lightweight champion, or does he lose a potential rematch to Islam? Who does he even fight next? Beneil Dariush, Rafael Fiziev, Dustin Poirier rematch? Who does Oliveira fight next? Put your thoughts down below. Beneil Dariush wants the next title shot in the UFC's lightweight division after going out there and beating Tony Ferguson, Diego Ferreira, Mateusz Gamrot, all fall by a decision, finishing Frank Camacho, Drew Dober, Drakkar Klose, and Scott Holtzman on right now what has been an 8-fight win streak inside of the UFC's lightweight division. He says he deserves the next UFC lightweight title shot. But in my opinion, I think, I'm sorry to say, but that's only one win inside of the top 15. Only one of these guys right here is currently inside of the top 15. Tony Ferguson is in there, but I really don't count him at this point. He's at number 15 in the lightweight division. Mateusz, the number 9 lightweight in the world. I don't think beating number 15 and number 9 lightweights in the world is enough to get a title shot. Personally, I say Beneil Dariush versus Charles do Bronx Oliveira at UFC 283 in the co-main events. If Beneil can beat Charles, give him the damn title shot. But what do y'all think? Does Beneil deserve the title shot? Abusupian Magomedov and Caio Borralho in the UFC's middleweight division after Caio Borralho was able to go out there and look very, decent again in his last fight in the UFC on the prelims of UFC 280. Got a good unanimous decision win, arguably winning all 3 rounds, but pretty easily winning round 1 as well as round number 3. One of the biggest prospects in the middleweight division in Caio Borralho, and another very big prospect in Abusupian Magomedov. Guess what? Abusupian on his Instagram 7 hours ago says, Caio Borralho, congratulations on your fight, but I'm not impressed with your performance, says George St. Pierre, also known as Abusupian Magomedov. You said you can call out everyone. How about we fight in your hometown and you show me what you really got? Brazil estu pronto. Let's get to Brazil as fast as possible. UFC 283, hashtag Rio de Janeiro, hashtag UFC Brazil. If we go on a Tapology really quick and we look at the ranking of both Abusupian Magomedov as well as Caio Borralho in the UFC's middleweight division, as of right now, for Caio Borralho, he is right outside of the top 15 at number 24 in the middleweight division, undefeated in the UFC, and has been doing very, very good. Whereas Abusupian Magomedov is not very high on the rankings when it comes to this middleweight division, but that's only because he's had only one fight inside of the UFC. I'm going to see if I can find Abusupian Magomedov, but it might be a little bit hard too. So let's pause the video really quick. There he is, Abusupian Magomedov, right there at number 47 on Tapology, starching Dustin Stoltzfus right there, right below Nick Maximov, Abdulrazak Al-Hassan. It'd be a big step up for him, but how dominantly he went out there in his UFC debut, I would say Caio versus Abusupian Magomedov. Winner will get a shot inside of the UFC rankings in the top 15 of the middleweight division, and I'm looking at the middleweight division as of right now. We got Nasruddin Imavov and Kelvin Gastelum fighting in the main event, I believe in January of 2023. Whoever loses gets the winner of Abusupian Magomedov and Caio Borralho, 2 very good up-and-coming wrestlers and grapplers in the middleweight division. Should be very interesting. But that is it for today's MMA news. This is about it right here. Bryce Mitchell, Movsar, Evloev officially canceled on the UFC Fight Night for November 5th. New main event with Marina Rodriguez and Amanda Lemos. Rafael Fiziev calls out Charles Oliveira. For UFC 283, Islam Makhachev, Alexander Volkanovski. UFC Perth, Australia betting odds have been released. Charles Oliveira getting the title back, maybe. Beneil Dariush believes he deserves the title shot. I think he should fight Charles Oliveira. And Abusupian Magomedov calls out Caio Borralho for UFC 283. Put your thoughts down below on today's MMA news. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.